Use this tool to seize the best opportunities and achieve breakthroughs you desire. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching and explaining one of my favorite tools. I've named it, and it's trademarked, the Opportunity Breakthrough. Break is an acronym, and I'll explain what it means. Get ready. So folks, my name's Doug Andrew, and I've been helping people optimize their financial assets and minimize taxes now for nearly 5 decades, north of 48 years. But during that time period, people, even though they come to me primarily to optimize financial assets, to create vehicles, nest eggs where they will not outlive their money in retirement, due to the negative impact of taxes, inflation, and market volatility. I make them immune from those. Many times they're very intrigued because I approach true or authentic wealth as if it's a three-legged stool. That's why it's called three-dimensional wealth. Only one dimension has to do with money. The other two have to do with your foundational and your intellectual assets. Foundational assets would be your relationships, your beliefs, your values, your heritage, your unique abilities and talents and what have you. The intellectual dimension has to do with your knowledge, your education, your experiences, your reputation, your skills. See, these are the 3 dimensions of authentic wealth. It's like a 3-legged stool, and a lot of people wobble on just one leg. They focus on just money, 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 and unfortunately a lot of people maybe spend their health accumulating their wealth, and later in life they spend all their wealth trying to regain their health, which is really stupid because they were out of balance. They were wobbling on one. So this channel is designed to empower you to have no wobble in your life, to be balanced. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you one of my 22 tools. One of my favorites is called the Opportunity Breakthrough. And I have 22 tools. There's probably about a third of them that I would classify to be on your tool belt. You use them regularly, like daily or weekly. You can even memorize these. You don't even need the actual tool that I'm going to put on the screen. And then there are others that are maybe in a toolbox you use once a month or every quarter, whatever. And then some you just use once a year. I'm going to show you an example of that here, which it's in a tool shed, so to speak. You pull it out once a year to use it. It's seasonal. So this Opportunity Breakthrough, this is designed for people where I empower my children, grandchildren, my employees, my customers, my clients, my students to go through life with more opportunities than they have capability to seize. Unfortunately, a lot of people in the world have more capability. They have big C, little O. They have way more capability than they have opportunities because they've never been trained to see the opportunities. They see them as challenges. That's a whole nother topic. But once you have more opportunities than you possibly have the capability to seize, it's easy to solve using filters. So one of my favorite tools is a filter. I call it the engagement filter. Which opportunities are you going to engage in? Which ones you're going to walk away from? And which ones you're going to delegate to somebody else? But here is one of my favorites called the Opportunity Breakthrough. So as we proceed, most of my tools you can print out on one sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So that is shown here on the screen. Now don't get hung up on, I can't read this. Well, I want to show you how simple the form is, but I'm going to tell you what each of these boxes spell, okay? So we start out whenever we have an opportunity, or if you have some opportunity, you're wondering, should I seize this opportunity or not? Fill out this form, either physically or mentally, and it spells break, B-R-E-A-K, hence breakthrough. This is the Opportunity Breakthrough. You're going to write down what barriers you need to overcome that stand in the way of having this opportunity come to full fruition. The things you're afraid, well, what could go wrong? So you brainstorm on the barriers, obstacles, and then you circle the top 3 barriers. And over here, you articulate them right here. What are the biggest barriers to overcome? The next box is R, which stands for resources. Well, what resources are you going to draw from or use to overcome those barriers. It could be reading, knowledge, hiring somebody, or whatever. You write down the resources you're going to use to overcome the barriers. Okay, it could be technology, it could be all kinds of things. So on a YouTube channel, see, many times the barriers is finding the time or a crew. So the resources I use is a professional crew to be able to film these, and then they post them and so forth, because I'm busy speaking to audiences and coming up with new content. So you're using resources. Now, the E in break stands for experiences. What experiences do you have that you can draw from to help this opportunity come to fruition in full living color? Or what experiences have other people had that you can draw from in order to make this come to fruition? So you write down the experiences, and then from this list of brainstorming, you write down 1, 2, 3. It's always the top 3, because the human brain can get its arms, so to speak, around a list of 3. Then you go to A. What are the action steps, number 1, number 2, number 3, that you need to take to get in motion and get this opportunity to be able to come to full fruition? So you've got to think through the action steps. And the final letter is K. Now here, the K is sort of silent. It stands for knowledge. What knowledge do you need to obtain or draw from yourself or other people who maybe have been through the experience before, and they learn something that you don't have to go through a long learning curve, because you can be learning in a fast power curve, and so you're going to glean from other people's experiences or their knowledge. Once you get 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, watch what happens. Your mind will be so super clear, you will have this breakthrough on the opportunity, and the chance of it coming to fruition will go from 50-55% chance up to 95%. Before I connect the dots, let me ask you to do this. Share this video with somebody that you know that could benefit from it. Click like, post a comment, but most importantly, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, Three Dimensional Wealth. It's free. And when you do, click that little bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new episode, which I do almost on a daily basis. I usually post at least 20 new episodes a month. I don't want you to miss out. And so subscribe, it's free, but stay with me for another few moments, because I want to gift you a copy of one of my most recent best-selling books. At the end, I'll pay for the book. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I want you to claim your free copy. So let's connect the dots here on this opportunity breakthrough. Hopefully you're already beginning to understand the power behind going through a thinking process. So I expand this. Every year with our family, we have 6 children and their spouses and 20 grandchildren. So do the math. Besides my wife and I, there's 32 of us, and we gather in our living room in December every year, and for about 15 or 20 minutes, I pass out a variation of this opportunity breakthrough. And so when you set goals or New Year's resolutions, how many people have broken those resolutions or don't achieve their goals by February? Well, that's because they didn't set SMART goals. You got to be specific, they've got to be measurable, attainable, relevant, and in a time frame. So we meet in the living room and we say, okay, we're going to be sitting here a year from today, and we're going to look back over this next year to today. What has to have happened in your life in the year, 2022, 2023, for you to be happy with the progress you made? And so they go through and they write down this breakthrough, the goal or the vision of what has to have happened with their relationships with their financial, okay, with their mental or intellectual, with their business or job or schoolwork, with church or community service, and also with civic, and because they want to give back. Then they write down their vision for their relationship with deity, whatever their belief is of a higher power, their spiritual part of their life, their spouse or their parents if they're not married, if they're younger, with their children if they're parents, or their siblings if they're not, with extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, grandparents, or whatever. And then down here, the relationship with their health. Well, a year from now, I want to weigh 30 pounds less or whatever. So you're writing down 10 different goals or a vision of what you want to achieve during this next year. Then you fill out the breakthrough. What barriers stand in the way of you achieving those? What resources do you need to use to overcome those barriers? What experiences do you need to have or draw from to make sure it comes to fruition? What are the action steps to be able to do that? And what's the knowledge you need to obtain? So if it's to lose weight, then you need to overcome the temptation of overeating or eating more than the portions or whatever. So you're going to use resources, maybe a nutritionist or something where you're accountable on some app on your phone. You're using experiences from others who have lost weight and you're joining with them on their goals. You're having action steps. You're going to do this every day or do intermittent fasting or whatever. You're going to get up and run and exercise, do cardio 2 days, 3 days a week. And then you have to obtain the knowledge, read this book. But see, once you do that, what we do in our family is I have my children and grandchildren circle three of these relationships that they filled out the breakthrough formula. And then we go around the family circle. It only takes 20 minutes to fill out this form. And everybody in the family shares their top 3. Why? Because when you share, you take ownership. And if you do it with a like-minded, abundant-minded people, they will be your cheerleaders. And if they have similar goals, even though, you cheat on Thanksgiving, instead of being critical, oh, I thought you were on a diet. I thought you were going to lose weight. How come you had 2 pieces of pie? No. Hey, everybody indulges on Thanksgiving. Hey, let's go out and go for a little jog the day after Thanksgiving. You create an atmosphere of cooperation and collaboration. That's the power behind the opportunity breakthrough. So if this is intriguing you and you want to learn more about this tool and others, here's how you can claim your free copy of the book Entitlement Abolition. So folks, again, this is just one out of 22 trademark tools. And even though they're trademarked, if you subscribe, you can have access to use those tools yourself. You don't sell them to others. But I want you to start by claiming your free copy of this book called Entitlement Abolition. This will teach you how to abolish entitlement mindset and so forth, but it's way deeper than that. It's a 200-page book, and in this book, I talk about how to teach those that you care about. There's actually 12 things that you can teach your children, your grandchildren, that the colleges and universities are not effectively teaching. And I have a tool to teach every single one of those concepts. I've shared one on here, and it's called the Opportunity Breakthrough. So if you want to have access to that and many others, you'll find out when you claim your free copy, which you go to entitlementabolitionbook.com or click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling, and I'll cover the rest of that, but I require a little bit of skin in the game. And then you'll read it. But I'll pay for the book. I'll send it out to you. You don't have to pay $20 retail. But there's also options when you claim your copy if you want to listen and learn. If you want to watch and learn, there's even online courses. I did an 18-hour masterclass, and you can purchase that masterclass at a substantial discount. In that, you'll have access to all of these tools, for example, but check out some of the other courses that we teach. We sometimes on a monthly basis do virtual training, and you can join online unless you want to come to a city where we do them live. But when you begin to take ownership of your future and use critical thinking tools, watch what happens in your life as you gain more clarity, how much greater your chance for success will become. And who wouldn't want that for those that they care about, your kids, your grandkids, your employees? So here is to your brighter future. Enjoy.